Raising Unicorns!
Harmon Brothers!
Hello and welcome back to Raising Unicorns. This is Show and Sell. We pitch some ideas for some of our favorite products.
Show and Sell!
So my product today is a Bagoo bag, and
I thought you had the product in the bag, but the product was
is
the
the bag, baby. So they're a reusable bag brand, and they've expanded into other things, like actually my computer bag is also Bagoo. So it's like
Bagoo. So is it like sustainable? Is that one of it?
Yeah, sustainable grocery bags. And I like them because, one, they're cute.
Yeah, little fishies.
B, they hold up so much better than not just plastic bags, but other reusable bags.
Really?
Yeah, because the plastic is so thin. So, like, I don't know how to explain it, but with cotton, there's like a set amount of space, and also it's really bulky.
Yeah.
So, like, when you're carrying them all together,
So
it's like one
expandable.
big ball. Yeah, but this, and I wish I'd brought it, kind of like with camping bags and camping chairs. They have a little thing that you can fold it into. You can put it in your purse and stuff like that. So so one, it's less bulky, so you can have a lot of them, carry them in your purse when you're shopping. But also, like I said, like there just seems to be like a strength, and it carries a lot. I find I can fit so much more. A lot of reusable bags are pretty small, and these come in different sizes. But anyways, it's kind of like a Mary Poppins bag. It just like fits so much more than you would ever believe.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. When like Trader Joe's and other people said like bring your own bag, I was like, who's gonna do that? And then I heard you doing it, and I was like, wait, it's actually incredibly easy.
Yeah. I'm the type of person who for years I've been like, I've had reusable bags, and then every time I unload my groceries, I say, Jiminy Sneakers, I forgot to bring these into the store.
Yeah.
And to be honest and very transparent, I still do that to this
Yes.
day.
How could you not?
But I do use these a lot more than before because of the cool benefits, and also it's like a little bit of a status symbol. It's like it's in, and I hate to admit how shallow I am, but it does feel better to bring this in than like, you know, a swag bag from some tech like conference that my brother went to. That
I'm gonna bring my big Yeti food bag.
Yeah,
and I'm gonna put my stuff in. That seems weird.
Exactly. So, and it is also nice that it's so small. Like I can fit these in my pocket, because it also sometimes feels weird. It's like I'm bringing in these big bags while I'm walking.
Yeah.
And I know no one like is thinking about it, but
It's almost like a magic trick. You walked in with nothing and you came out with colorful, beautiful starfish bags.
Yeah. So I have a few script ideas. So my first script, this is kind of like playing on the status symbol and some wordplay. So it's like a cute little like sustainable girl, and she's like, I just bagged my hottest grocery bags in town. And then her friend is like struggling with the plastic bags, and there's like she's holding 3 normal plastic grocery bags, and stuff falls through, and then the main character B, she catches all 3 bags with just one reusable bag. And then she says, and now I'm about to bag a husband. And then she like kidnaps an unsuspecting man.
And he tries to punch through, but he can't because it's too strong.
So yeah, it would be each one leg in a bag to show how strong it is. It's like it can hold this, quarterback of a man. And then she says, now I can rag on other bags. Joe really is a traitor because his bags are made of fabric that rip and smells that reek. And then she says, just wait till the milk spills on a summer day. And then it's like, I don't know if that's ever happened to you, but kimchi, kombucha.
Oh, kimchi's painful.
Whenever like pickles, whenever that liquid like ekes out and then it stays in those bags. And again, it's like you can wash them, of course, but it lingers.
It does linger.
It does. And then she says, plastic bags are trying to murder the earth and they must have a good lawyer because they get away with it. And then you show, all of the sad footage of like plastic bags, just going through the ocean.
Yeah.
Empathy play. And then she says, look, of course, the point of sustainability is to reuse stuff you already have, but it's a lot easier to forget ugly bags and then show just all of those, like, sometimes stores give out, like, reusable bags that are branded in a specific store. Sometimes you get it from Swag. You get it from, like, at TJ Maxx, you can buy reusable bags, and sometimes they're like, this is all we have. And then it's like, they're just ugly and unwieldy and bulky. And so anyways, all of those pain points. And then she says, buy reusable bags you're excited to use and they won't stay stuck in your trunk for years. And then, have one of those like moments where she opens the trunk. She's already bought her groceries, and it's like, beep, and then like sad music plays of these forgotten bags. And then my one other idea is it's Toy Story, but for reusable bags. Like, sad, forgotten, reusable bags. And they're like, why doesn't Carrie use this anymore?
And they're these ones, or they're ugly,
no,
gross?
They're the other bags.
So they should be forgotten.
Yeah. And so one of them, so each one, like, goes through, they, like, self-deprecate themselves. So the bag's like, it's because we're ugly.
And you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
True.
And the other one's like, it's because I'm stinky. She's like, yeah.
Yeah. You love your new bag more than us. True.
Yeah. And at first she's like, come on, that's not true. There are other reasons as well.
Oh, fun.
So those are the two ideas that I had.
That's cool. Yeah, I wish they would partner. I wish stores would get over themselves and sell these at their stores. Because it is just like, if they're like, hey, you can buy this bag for, I don't know how, whatever they are, and just put it in right here. Like, oh, that's cute. But I don't want to like shop around Trader Joe's all the time.
Right.
Especially if I go shopping somewhere else, they're like, you feel like a poser. Like, you're representing Trader Joe's at Smith's. What's your deal?
Yeah.
That's weird.
Yeah. And there's some diehard fans of the Trader Joe's bags.
Sure.
And like, I have some of them too, but I just find that like,
But theirs is the zippy ones, right? They feel more like a tote bag? Or do they have plasticky ones too?
No, they don't have plasticky ones. Yeah, they're like thick canvas,
Yeah.
kind of like unwieldy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's just like, I think really the mantra for the Bagoo is like, buy something you'll actually use.
Yeah.
Because it's just like.
And only use for that. Because I've used my Trader Joe's bag for other things.
Oh, that's
than
true.
That.
And
then it's like,
lost,
I don't want.
They're not in your car. Yeah. Because I really do think it's like, I've seen people discourse about Bagoo, and they're like, it's wasteful to buy something that you already have bags for. But I think sometimes you have to meet people where they're at and just be like, if you're not using your big bulky bags that like it's hard to find a space for them, and like you can keep this in your compact in your car, like.
Oh, I just thought of something else.
Yeah.
So since everything's going to self-checkout, here's a problem I get all the time. I don't buy a ton of groceries, but I buy enough groceries that I've like used up the 4 slots in there, and all of a sudden I have to keep everything on the weight sensitive turntable, otherwise the thing will go off. But this is bigger than that, so if I can slide that on there, it's more in one bag, and I avoid that weirdness of being like, well, I need 5 bags, so I'm just gonna shift this to the corner precariously.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, so do any kink on kink moments come to mind?
That one right there.
Yeah.
Just talking about just like the bags are pretty small and they're pretty flimsy. This one's pretty big and still equally portable.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, I'm worried about it falling off the turntable at the self-checkout, rather like, cha-ching, like no problem.
Yeah.
You got it.
For me, like that first image that I talked about where you have like 3 grocery bags filled to the brim that are ripping and then them falling through and one Bagoo catching all 3 bags.
Yeah. Pop.
To me, that's like, oh, that's so nice. And then also like, I love not having to carry as many bags, because I do have some other, like my mom got me some from IKEA too, and they're smaller and they don't carry as much, and I don't like that it's like, oh, these only fit like a few things,
Yeah, it would be cool to be like 4 bags is the most you'll ever need.
Yeah.
Like if you're just like 2 in each hand, it's like boom, I'm done. Whereas like
Right.
you have the classic, sketch of like the person with 27 bags in each arm.
Or it's like, it'd be cool to do, it's like shopping for a family of 5, how many Bagoo bags do I need to fit all the groceries?
yeah.
And then it's like, it's 4, and then like expertly showing like,
And they're all filled with Totino's pizza rolls. Exclusively Totino's pizza rolls.
right.
When Chasmo comes out.
Yeah, and then the Bagoo bags strangle Chasmo. And the mom's like, I didn't know him that well.
I didn't know him that well. It's not as hard for me.
I wanted to. Yeah, all right, Zach, you want to kick off your product?
All right, I'm excited to pitch AM Gourmet Salt. I'm going to talk about some things I like about it, and then I'm going to talk about like some of the pain points it solves, and then how I'd pitch it.
Cool.
So the main thing I like about it is it just makes every single thing I either heat up or microwave or bake better. So like I do a lot of lentils, sprinkle, 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 tastes amazing. I do a lot of soups. I do a lot of reheated stews, sprinkle, 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 it tastes amazing. And the cool thing about AM salt, it's not just thick salt. It's also got, in this one, they have lots of different flavors. It has paprika, onion, garlic, red pepper, and mysterious herbs. What are those herbs? I don't know. And I like the mystery about that. But it really does taste so stinking incredible.
It's basically an elevated garlic salt, I would say. Like, there are other brands of garlic salt,
Yes.
but it's combining like kind of that Himalayan flaky salt.
Yeah. But there's also like the kind of distinctive crunch that I really like
Yeah.
because the grains are a little bit bigger.
Right.
Where like garlic salts are like finer powder.
Well, that's what I'm saying is because there are flaky salts.
Yes.
There's like popular brand. There's like Malden. That's like a famous flaky salt. And then
Yeah.
there are like your classic like garlic salts. But this is a fusion of two things.
You know, it's got me thinking. So you know I want to start a popcorn seasoning brand.
Yes.
Good. This goes into the second thing. The thing I love about it is I feel like Salt Bae. You have no choice but to sprinkle like this.
Yeah.
And it makes you feel cool. It makes you feel
Yeah.
like a chef.
Yeah.
And then also it probably helps with your portion sizes too.
Yeah.
Because if I'm just shaking, I don't know. But if I take one, I really have to ask myself, am I going to go in for a second pinch?
Yeah.
And most of the time, one pinch is plenty. So when a recipe calls for a pinch, you know exactly what's going on.
Yeah.
Some of the pain points it's solving for me is just upscaling a meal, like a boring meal that just like, I can't believe I'm eating this again. I don't get bored of AM salt. It just makes it taste good.
And with ease, right? It's
With-
like the
it's just right there.
easiest way.
Always pop,
Right.
sprinkle.
You don't have to learn a skill to make your food taste better. And
Yeah.
that's like very encouraging.
And I really do think they nailed like the generic flavor enough of being like, this just tastes good. I can't, like, I couldn't tell you just off that's like, oh, it's got hints of paprika and that's why it's good.
Right.
It just tastes good.
Yeah.
One way that I'd like to sell it, if I were to sell it, and if you're going to hire us, is I want to do like a blind taste test where we ask people, do you prefer soup 1 or soup 2? And we give a bite. And then we go, trick question, it was the same soup. But one was just flavored with AM gourmet salt. And I feel like it really is like it switches up the texture, it switches up the flavor profile. And then the other thing, because it's so like convenient and a fun experience, there's no shame going back for another pinch.
Yeah.
Pinchy. And so I'll keep it on the dinner table open and we'll just be pinching. And I don't care that we got 5 different fingers popping in there. It's salt. It's a natural disinfectant. I don't know if that's true, but
That's
it sounds
not
true. Isn't salt a disinfectant? Salt the wound? Keith,
think
I'm
that's
checking up on you real
painful.
quick. Keith, our producer, is checking all that for me.
And I should say it is pricey, depending on where you get it. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret. That right there is $20.
You meaning the audience, because I definitely knew this.
Yeah, the audience. That's who I'm talking to.
But it lasts a long time. My last one was probably like 4 or 5 months.
Yeah.
And I used it every day.
Give me a demonstration to prove the cost point. Because I think there will be people who will be like, ooh, I'd like to try that. And then they're like, zoink, scoop, $20.
I think the use is like evidence of the value. So I try to think the last time I grabbed just my salt shaker and I shook it on it. I can't remember the last time I did that because in my mind, it doesn't elevate the taste that much unless it's like so horribly bland. For this one, it is such a flavor enhancer where it's like I can't think of the last savory meal that I didn't do it. So the
Yeah.
fact that I'm burning through it faster shows that it's like a higher value
Yeah.
item. Because my salt shaker, like that'll last years. Like my big one that I get from the grocery store, you know, that I have to do baking, that'll last 1 or 2 years. But this guy, I'm gonna burn through it. I'm happy to do it, and I'll do it again.
Yeah. And I really think that the audience for this is, of course, foodies. But I also think like foodies who are bad in the kitchen. It's like you love food, but you're not very good at making it.
Right.
This is such an easy way to elevate your
To make you
meal.
feel like you are,
Yeah,
next level.
it's like a rescue for bland food. It's like the salt, like the oomph that salt was missing. You
Yeah.
know, it's like sometimes salt isn't enough, and you need AM. You know,
Yeah. You got to level up your meal. It really helps you level it up.
or it's like that moment when like someone taste tests and they're like, "What?" They're like, "It's not quite," and you're like, "What's it missing?" And then
Yeah.
it's like, now you have your answer.
Yeah. That's another taste test. Give people bad food, and they're like, "How was it?" They're like, "Not very good." You go, "What's it missing?" And then you hand them AM. And they're like, "That of course."
Well, you could do like rate it 1 out of 10, add the AM salt, rate it 1 out of 10,
Yeah.
and then see how consistently that bumps the
Right.
flavor. Because again, it's like like I've had soups where I'm like, this is a pretty meh soup. And then I put that salt on it and I'm like, oh, that just became a great soup.
Became a great soup. And really it's just like when I do salt, I typically got to put pepper on there too to actually give it like a noticeable flavor difference. But this one, it's all combined in one. And there's not even any pepper in there.
Yeah.
It's got no pep, but it will put some pep in your step.
You got the results, Keith? A salted cleansing agent?
It is saline solutions.
Okay. But will it prevent germs?
Here's the real question. Can salt in a container get dirty from human hands?
Yeah, if someone sticks sick boogers in this can of salt,
It turns it into more salt.
Right.
Wouldn't that be cool if they have
This is a safe space.
the salt increases its flavor the more you touch it?
I just remembered in Secret Lives of Mormon wives, they go to a salt room for healing.
Right. Salt
remember
it has a long history.
I don't think there's that much science behind it, but I could be wrong.
I mean, they say ions or something like that, like salt lamp, but I never felt ionized.
Yeah. What have ions done for me?
What have ions ever done for me, ons?
Yeah. Any other thoughts on that product?
Yeah, I really think, like, so if we were going to do, like, a formal Harmon Brothers script on it, I'd really just show the use case of it, of just being, like, anywhere from, like, eggs in the morning to, like, sprinkling on, like, a carne asada at the end of the night, or, like, sprinkling onto your sandwich when you feel like it doesn't have a little bit of flavor. Like, it really does, like, level up almost any meal that can use a little bit of salt on it.
I think another selling point is salt is kind of a trigger word for like being unhealthy, right?
Oh, sure.
Or, like, as you
High
get
sodium.
older. But I think it's like only eat salt that counts, or like make every salt count.
Like a pinch is all you need. A pinch of AM is all you need to make it taste really good.
And not even just that. It's like, how much sodium do we consume in a day? And then it's like, how often do you realize that? Or like, how often are you consciously like eating that sodium? As opposed to like, oh, I can taste this and it's making a big difference.
So you're saying it helps you helps you be more aware of your sodium intake more?
Yes, but also just if you're gonna have salt and it's not that good for you,
Might as well be
have
good.
the best salt
Yeah.
that you can have.
Yeah, if you're gonna get hypertension and a stroke, it might as well taste good on the way there.
Right.
Yeah.
But for real, it's
Yeah.
like when I have ice cream, I'm like, I'm gonna have the best ice cream
Yes.
in the world.
If you're gonna
because-
binge well.
Yeah.
But also, it's weird. I feel healthier when I eat the salt. Because it's got other herbs in it and stuff. Again, it's psychological, but it's just like there's green in there.
Yeah.
I see the green.
And we can put your review in there.
It says herbs.
It has green.
But it said herbs though.
Makes me feel healthy. I love the mysterious herbs.
It could be the herb of eternal youth. I don't know. That's how cool they are.
Well, there you have it, folks. This has been Show and Sell.
Shining unicorns.
And we'll see you next time.
See you next time. Bye.
Thank you for watching Raising Unicorns!
Subscribe now.